collection of different.
And as you can see in the first half, there was a 50%.
You want to give it a try?
Alright, I'll try it out.
3, 4.
It's already 11 p.m. Go, Mom.
I have an idea. What do you think?
Okay, guys. It's a wrap! Yeah!
Well done. Carry on one more time.
Wow, good job.
Teach your students from anywhere with Servio Virtual Classroom. The transition to digital is critical so that teachers can easily reach their students anytime, anywhere from the comfort of their home. With Servio Virtual Classroom, you can manage attendance, lesson plans, exams, and grades. Become a certified virtual classroom administrator by getting training on best practices for setting up and operating a virtual classroom. Get certified by taking our official certification exam. As a teacher with a Servio Virtual Classroom, you get unlimited student seats, unlimited video call minutes, unlimited support for you and your students, and more. All for just $595 per month. Order your Servio Virtual Classroom or get a free trial today. Visit larkfromservio.com/virtual classroom for more info.
Fine, you look fine.
Hey, come on, James, hurry up. We're gonna start soon, man.
Oh, sorry about that.
Look who's studying with me today.
Okay, now Art Deco is not just a single style, but a collection of different.
And as you can see in the first half, there was a 50%.
You want to give it a try?
Alright, I'll try it out.
3, 4.
It's already 11 p.m. Go, Mom.
I have an idea. What do you think?
Okay, guys. It's a wrap! Yeah!
Well done. Carry on one more time.
Wow, good job.
Teach your students from anywhere with Servio Virtual Classroom. The transition to digital is critical so that teachers can easily reach their students anytime, anywhere from the comfort of their home. With Servio Virtual Classroom, you can manage attendance, lesson plans, exams, and grades. Become a certified virtual classroom administrator by getting training on best practices for setting up and operating a virtual classroom. Get certified by taking our official certification exam. As a teacher with a Servio Virtual Classroom, you get unlimited student seats, unlimited video call minutes, unlimited support for you and your students, and more. All for just $595 per month. Order your Servio Virtual Classroom or get a free trial today. Visit larkfromservio.com/virtual classroom for more info.
Fine, you look fine.
Hey, come on, James, hurry up. We're gonna start soon, man.
Oh, sorry about that.
Look who's studying with me today.
Okay, now Art Deco is not just a single style, but a collection of different.
And as you can see in the first half, there was a 50%.
You want to give it a try?
Alright, I'll try it out.
3, 4.
It's already
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to today's webinar entitled Trends in Digital Transformation for Education, How to Effectively Manage a Virtual Classroom. I am Brian Paul Javier, Chief Distribution Officer of Survey Technologies, and I'll be your moderator for today. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today on a Saturday morning. I'm sure everyone had a very busy week now that we are officially on our second week here in the Philippines since the start of the opening classes. Officially, because I know more of you have started class earlier even in August. So I just appreciate you taking this time to join this webinar. We won't take much of your Saturday morning, and this webinar would only take about an hour. So before we go to our webinar, here are just some ground rules. So this webinar will be available as a YouTube video in the next 24 hours. So you'll be able to access this after this webinar. If you have any questions for the speaker, you can type it in the chat box, and then we will address them towards the end of the presentation. For the live attendees, to receive your digital certificate of attendance today, we'll be providing a link at the end of this session for a survey. Upon successful submission of the survey, you'll be receiving the digital certificate of attendance. Please note that the survey will only be available until the end of today. So I hope you'll be able to complete the survey before the day ends to be able to receive your digital certificate of attendance. We will begin at exactly 10:05 while we are waiting for the others. So I want everyone to just sit tight. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. This is a feature of Lark. We are able to go live on YouTube, so we can also do this on Facebook. So I hope you are enjoying what you're watching here in YouTube. How is everyone doing? I know we are now in our second week, end of the second week of the opening of classes, and we know that there are a lot of challenges that we've encountered. We'll be discussing some of them later, but I hope everyone is somehow able to adjust. I know it would take some more time for us to be able to fully adjust to what we are all encountering, but yeah, what can we do? We are now in the middle of a pandemic, something we could not change. All we need to be able to do is adapt, adjust, and see how we can make the most out of it. I hope what we will be discussing today would be able to help you adjust to this new normal and still be able to provide quality education. We should not let this, whatever we are all going through right now, affect how we are going to be able to educate the students, educate the children. So I hope we'll be able to provide some insights and hope you will be able to apply this during the school year. Again, for those who has just joined us, this webinar will be available in YouTube in the next 24 hours, so you can be able to access that after. If you have any questions, we would be glad to take them on and answer these questions. You can type your questions at the chat box, and we will address them towards the end of the presentation. We will be also giving out a certificate of attendance. So if you need a certificate of attendance, we'll be providing the link at the end of the live stream, a link to a survey. Upon successful submission of that survey, you'll receive a digital certificate of attendance. Again, the survey would only be available until the end of today. So I hope you'd be able to finish the survey before the day ends for you to be able to receive your certificate of attendance. We're about to begin shortly. Our first speaker for today is Young Lu. He is from our Lark, a pre-sales consultant. He'll be discussing about some trends and how Lark would be able to help you adapt to these trends in the digital transformation. So Maybe let's get right to it. I'd like you to all welcome Yang Lu. Welcome, Yang Lu.
Hi, thanks, Brian, for having me in this session. So I'm very excited to share with everyone already watching YouTube what are the latest trends of digital transformations in education sector, and especially how do we help our customers and educate learners and students in Philippines in this subject matter. So let me share my screen. Let's begin on today's presentation. Okay. So basically, I think, as Brian mentioned, there are a lot of students already experiencing distancing learning for a couple of months, and also I think nationally, everyone just start for the second week. So I think there is a mixed feeling of this. Somebody like it, somebody you might encounter some challenges. And today, I think as a viewer in the YouTube, you guys might have a question, right? How does my organization will be able to face all these challenges? How will my organization will be able to find the right tool that is functional and versatile enough to encounter these challenges? So that is purpose of today's sharing. So I will bring you through some journey, some sharing on the trends, and also how Lark will help you guys to equip yourself and your students. Okay, so let's begin. So first of all, I think digital transformation is a long-going topic for decades. I think every student, every organization, every institution has been trying to doing that for a long time. However, I think COVID-19 really gave us a push or nudge on that because when that is coming, I think a lot of organizations are kind of being forced to think about this, and there are a lot of schools, institutions has been forced to have a distancing learning. So it's really, really a game changer in the education sector in terms of the adoption of technology and also the focus on the digital strategy, because there are a lot of institutions and organizations that used to focus on a lot of things of like e-learning systems, student information system. That is necessary, of course. And for smaller institutions, they probably don't have much tools to get right on. But I think at this time, everybody are switching their focus to how can I get a tool? I can able to conduct a remote learning, remote teaching easily. How do I have a tool that I can communicate with my students easily? So I think that is a main trend, has been going around for a few months. But though it has been going around for a few months, I think there are a lot of people still have questions, still have challenges on different matters, and we can go into that a little bit later. And also, I think everybody has to agree that social distancing could be our future, or at least longer, much longer than what we have anticipated. I think in the school in Philippines, you guys are still in distance learning until the further notice. At least for this semester already started. Everybody is trying to find a way to conduct their classes. So this is something we have to accept for a couple of more months or even till the next year. So then the fundamental challenge I think everybody asking is how far and how fast educational organization could go in the transforming learning style and make sure all the teachers and learners can easily adopt. Because I think the first thing is like everyone has to find a solution fast enough, meaning saying this system shall be easy to get on board, shall be easy to adapt by all the teachers and learners, because we have a mix of age, mix of experience in technology, and even a mix of hardware infrastructure in different regions. So how do we find a tool that is intuitive enough, that is easy enough for people to onboard? That's one question. Second, how far can we go? Because probably it's easy to find a tool that can solve your problem one or two. For example, we have a lot of video conferencing tools in the market. We have a lot of messaging tools in the market. So it can sort of solve your problem in a specific matter. But in terms of how far we can adapt this and how far we can go in a better learning experience, then those singular tool might give you a challenge saying, I end up installing 10 apps, 20 apps, or I end up toggling around a few systems just in order to teaching the same subject, teaching one subject, and or just need to get my student to submit my assignments, get a student talking to me, get a student on class. So that is a challenge or balance you have to sort of make in between. So on the one hand, you have to be fast enough. The tool has to be easy to use, easy to onboard enough. And on the other hand, the tool has to be versatile enough to tackle all the different challenges that we have in the distance learning. So the situation in Philippines, I think based on our understanding and research, there are so many people has been affected. So according to the report, that is even equal to 25% of the populations in Philippines. So we have around 27 million students that start their semester, I think recently October and even earlier for some private schools in August. So those students are all being put in home and also have to find a way to do the distancing learning. I think based on different infrastructures, hardware they're having, so probably they adapt to a mixed modular approach, and also some students, some schools, they adopt to a full online approach. But basically this impact is very, very wide. It really, really touch every single student and every family. So I believe if you are watching this or you have kids who are already in the school, you definitely has experience on that. But what is the sentiments over there? And are people happy with the current situation? I think when we did some research on the internet, we see there are a lot of people not really happy with it. There are people struggling, and it's not only students, but also teachers. So for example, say a senior teacher struggle with an online class. There are a lot of, and the issue probably be the Wi-Fi connection, probably be the learning curve of onboarding to a tool. And also on the student side, I think toggling around different systems and also get on time being an online class would be a struggle for the students as well. I think there are multiple issues going around. First of all, I think for students and teachers, I think the mentality change is one thing. How do we adapt to a distancing learning style, but we still could focus? That is kind of a mentality change for the students. And also there are infrastructure or hardware challenges in the nationwide. Depends on where you are. So the network coverage or the hardware you're using will be another prerequisite. And also most importantly, I think it's the software on the software layer. What are the tools that you can choose from? Because there are so many offerings in the market and so many companies are trying to help the students globally on this issue. But however, I think every organization, when they select a tool, they kind of have one or two focus, right? So I want to conduct my class easily. I want to hand out my assignment materials easily, or I want to talk to my students. But if you look at it holistically, it's not that easy to find one or two softwares that can solve a holistic problem. So I think that is where we are today. If you have the same challenge as what we mentioned, please do continue watching this, and we will show you how Lark can work on this issue. So when we're talking about the digital transformation trends recently in education, especially during this distancing learning scenario, I think we think about 4 R's that educational organization has to adopt. So what we call it, reimagine your classroom, reshape your people, reinventing the operation process, and also re-envisioning the digital strategy. Let me go into a little bit detail on this. So first of all, reimagining a classroom. I think this one everybody has has been working on that for a couple of months. I think, first of all, no matter what the policy going to change in the future or what are the situation are going to change in the education sector, I think safety comes first in this world right now. So no matter we are in a distance learning every day at home, or there's a chance that probably we can have a smaller size of the classes in the school, I think the safety always comes first. So do you have the business process already established for the health check with the student, for the well-being checkup with the student? I think that's something really important in our classroom. And also primarily remote. I think this policy totally aligned with what happened in the Philippines now. Everybody is in distancing class. I think that is a given. And also support a more flexible schedule arrangement because we are not at school. The timetable might not be that fixed for everyone, for both students and also teachers. So you don't have the time. You have to be in the classroom or in the offices. You have more time to organize your own timing, and also you have more time to organize your time with your student. So that is something a flexible schedule can be considered, and at the same time, an effective communication with your student that will be super, super helpful. Reshaping the people, I think everyone has sort of gained some more digital knowledges, technical knowledges when it comes to remote learning. I think teachers were trying to figure out how can we use this tool, how can I control my video conference during the meeting. And as a student, I think we are also adapting to the way saying, how do I conduct learning online? How do I do my assignment and submit it online? So those are all the challenges that we are having. So as an organization, I think we are responsible to reshape our people, to equip our people with the right knowledge. So I think upskill, that will be the keywords used over here. And also, I think for the school, what you need to consider is also the attendance and examination measures. So how do we measure our attendance while everyone is at home? And also, even when it comes to the end of the semester, middle of the semester, examinations. So how can we make sure the integrity of the examination at the same time the effectiveness of the examination? That would be something worth to consider along the way as well. And also, it's all related to people for both learners and teachers. So interactions also matters because now we are not meeting face to face with each other. So classmates, they may no longer meet each other to talk. Teacher and students, they are no longer together for the consultation, for the Q&A, and also even check the well-being of the students. Because I think this is a period some of the students will get panic because when they're studying alone, so some people may feel they need some help or they need some attention during this learning journey. I think this kind of interaction is very important. So I think in the digital transformation matter, that means the remote classroom is not about like where we are right now. We are conducting a learning online session. That is not all about it. There is still things like how do I check up with the student offline after the classes? How do I interact with how does the student interact with a classmate for the class matters? So that is something I think we also need to consider during this period. And from a digital transformation perspective, we shouldn't forget this part in our entire digital strategy. Number 3, reinventing the operation process. I think this is also very important because when we talk about a running of an educational organization, you still have a bunch of school staffs, you still have a bunch of teachers that working together as a colleague. So there are still a lot of business process. It's just like any companies, any organization in the industry that you still have some business process to run. So if those process has to rely on something on paper has to rely on something face to face, then this is also the time to think about that. For example, a typical example would be workflows, right? So can any working process be automated online? Can any working process be automated without too much IT investment and also implementation period? That would be something important. And also, process can be revised as well. So we probably need to streamline certain process internally, let's say course material approvals, course material review, and even for the staff, I think for their attendance, for their internal operation works outside of teaching. Those kind of things can be streamlined during this time as well. And also, I think leave no one out. That is a very important approach over here. So we need to establish a good reach out that including all teachers, learners, as well as the staffs. So because this is a time we could receive any announcement at any time. So how can we establish an effective channel that we can make sure to reach out of everyone? It's also important at this moment. Last but not least, re-envisioning a digital strategy. I think if you talk about the first three key points, it's naturally lead to the final point. We need to really look at our digital strategy. So I think for a lot of organizations, you might already have a long-term plan on your digital transformation. However, during this time, I think we have to shift our focuses into all these three factors that we mentioned earlier, and also increase our online presence. I think this is also coming from a marketing perspective as well. So for the school, we need to also think about operations and marketing in the future. So increase the online presence is not only for the teaching and also for your school imaging promoting as well. So that's why we talk about this is an entire plan of reprioritize the digital strategy. So I think take a few seconds to look at these 4 points that is and compare that with your situation right now. Look at where you are, and also you can have a better roadmap on the next step. Okay. So to achieve all this, right? To achieve all this success, a digital platform, a powerful versatile digital platform, is really, really necessary. So what we, Lark, over here can provide you, we will be introducing all this in the following for the next couple of minutes. So for Lark, a little bit background of us. So we are founded in 2017 and headquartered in Singapore. And globally, we have 9 R&D centers across Asia and North America. And so this is really involved from an internal collaboration tool from a tech internet giant into a global SaaS product. So we decided to commercialize that in 2019, and this will be a SaaS product. So which means there is no deployment needed of your organization. You can go straight into the product by subscription. So we really believe that the tool can shape the way we work, we learn, and also we teach. So our vision, I think our focus on is really on 2 parts. So one thing is what we call all-in-one collaborations. I think a lot of people are familiar with the term of collaborations, right? Chat, video conference, even document collaboration altogether. But the approach of all-in-one is really to bring all these modules together and bring some synergies in between them. And so with that approach, you can achieve a better efficiency and also a better reach out with your classmates, with your students and learners. So that is an all-in-one approach. And also digital transformation, because other than collaboration, you still have a lot of processes to be streamlined. So we are here to help. So a lot of applications we develop, a lot of modules we develop, really adopt into a no-code approach, meaning saying you can immediately write on a tool and make use of it without any implementation period or very minimal configuration period. So that is the vision that we want to achieve in the digital transformation in the education sector. So what does it include? So it includes all the essential collaboration modules that you need, including instant messaging, calendar, cloud storage, online documents, and I think most importantly, the video conference right now. So though you guys are watching on YouTube, actually this live stream is supported by Lark, and we push the stream into YouTube. So you guys can even do the same during your journey with Lark as well. So you can conduct your own live broadcast session with your mass number of students, or even broadcast to externals for marketing purposes as well. So since it's a SaaS platform, software and services, everything is hosted on cloud. So you probably will have a question in terms of security. I think this is a relevant question for the education sector as well. So I think no worries on that. So we are hosted on AWS infrastructure security. So we are certified by their infrastructure security, and also we are SOC 2 and SOC 3 compliant. So which means we guarantee that the access of your the very, very minimal access of the information, and no access of your private information that is stored on the cloud. And also in terms of the tool, we are ISO 27018 compliant. That is especially for a SaaS product in the collaboration area. So to make sure that no SaaS system holds your data, but as an operator, as an owner of the tool, we don't have access to your private data. So you can make sure that your security won't be compromised when you're on board your cloud system. And also, I think during this pandemic season, earlier this year, UNESCO has released a remote learning solution list globally that is helped many countries, especially developing countries, in the selection of the tools. So we are one of them, Lark is one of them, as a global learning solution recommended by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. So I think that is a great recognition from a global organization. And also we do have a lot of happy customers, happy school and students already in the market. So later on, what we will be sharing with you guys is actually the use cases that we have also learned from our customers, like how they use Lark for their remote teaching and also school operations. So I think that's why we'll go back to there later. This is about offerings, but basically, I think the very clear message we want to send is that no matter your school management, your teachers or students, actually there are modules for you, there are functions for you to get read on and for your remote learning journey. Okay, so without further ado, I think I will quickly jump into a demo on the distancing learning on two matters. So first of all, we talk about remote classroom, and we think about the before, during, and after the video conference session, because we think before it's a very good setup in terms of how do you set up a class communication groups, school announcement, and calendar, like class calendars over here. And also during the sections, definitely we'll talk about the interaction, effectiveness of interaction during the video conference. And also even we can run some quiz over there. And also after that, how about my assignments? How about my content report sheet and follow-ups? All this will be covered. And more than that, so for digitalization of educational platforms, we also need to think beyond that. So like student service, satisfaction survey, and so on. So all this, we will be cover the teachers, staffs, and students all together with our no-code approval form, school announcements, health report, and even a student self-help chatbot. Okay, let's get into that. So this, what you have seen over here, this is a Lark platform. As you can see, all those modules will be included over here. So you have chat, meetings, you have calendars, and also you have a cloud storage over here. And all the students can be organized very nicely in an org chart. So you can import your org chart and make sure that your staff and students are placed in the right place and with right permission, so that everyone can join different class groups. For example, this is one class group and people can interact over here. So in terms of the group setting, I think this is way beyond a commercial chatting or IM app, you can just send messages. Actually, if you browse the information over here, you can send so many stuffs over here, such as you can send calendar invites, you can send your documents over here, you can publish announcement that notify everyone, and also you support rich text message as well. So this is really a place for you to interact with everyone, and this is what we call even a mini intranet for one class or one class group. For example, you can publish such a announcement with rich of the content. So that is really effective when it comes to communication with the student. And you might notice that you can also publish some simple quiz over here, publish some quick voting over here. I think this is something very effective during the class for the quick interactions. And of course, we have a full-fledged quiz module or what we call survey module that can help you to do a more complex or more formal survey or quiz for the class follow-up. Okay, so this is something I think we have to notice, we have to take care before the meeting. So as you can see, we can set up a very nice chart group, and of course, the class calendars. So here's a sample over here. I think this is more for a university setup. We have like different courses repeat every week. So you can set a recursive of the meetings, let's say every week, every day, every other day. So over here, for each session, you may notice there are a few buttons over here, right? So you can go into your chat group that we talked about earlier. You can go into your course materials we talked about earlier. And also, this is, I think, one of the most important buttons. You can start your so-called meetings, or you can start your sessions over here. So because my camera is occupied by this live stream, so I will go into that. It's on the camera audio. So when we talk about video conference, I think when I spoke with Brian, talking about all the challenges the Filipino students are facing, I think, or teachers are facing, I think the top concern is definitely about the security. So you might notice a meeting code. You will see that, okay, that's easy for my student to join, just like some other tools at Dell at Join. But how can I ensure there's no bumpers, there's no security glitch? So if you look at host control over here, we can really limit this, lock the meeting room, saying only people invited by the host can join the event. So make sure that this code is really private and secure. Make sure only people in your invitation list can join. So as a teacher, you have full control of that. So don't worry too much about the security itself. Okay. Then during the classroom, I think other than what you have seen in this video conference, like you can see each other, you can see other students, you can talk to them. I think something important is that you can even share a content, interactive course material to your students. That is thanks to our large doc, which is an online document. You can do so many more things just than sharing the screen. So I will be quickly share the content over here. You guys should take a look. So for example, this is probably one assignment that we show over here. And from permission control over here, I can give my student view or edit permission. So for example, if I'm having a class with Brian over here, so I can go through the content with Brian, or if Brian is my colleague in the teaching syllabus review team, so we can together edit the materials we have over here. And at the same time, look at the richness of the content over here as an online document. You can put your PowerPoint, PDF over here for the learning. For computer science people, you can put your Markdown code over here. And also, if you taught mathematics, you can also put formulas over here as well. Embedded videos, and also reference to other documents, reference to other course materials as well. So as you can see that this can really be used for online teaching and also for the assignment or the collaborations with your colleagues to make the content happen. So if Brian trying to tap something over here, I can also tap over here. So you can see Brian's cursor is moving on. With this, we can support 50 people working on together, or over here. So I think that is pretty good enough for us to produce a teaching material. And also, if I say during the class, I want to log this, so I can stop, right? So editing at any time. So I change it back to view permission. Then it can no longer edit it. I think that is more like a setup during the class when we taught the session, so you don't need to edit it. And also as a learning process, I think what we were looking at a holistic learning process. So we also need to take care of like class attendance as well. So we have this survey module that you can do quick check-in over here. So if I were to scan with my mobile app, then I'm about to display my mobile app with you guys over here. So as you can see that when I scan a QR code from the student side, I can quickly take my attendance. If you want a current location, that is optional. So you can put your attendance over. You can put your location over there. So it's a quick check-in with a dynamic QR code that can only probably use once, use at a certain time, so to make sure there is a good check or moderation in terms of attendance. And whatever modules, functions that you have seen, it's available on this mobile version as well. So for students who are joining from an iPad, students who are joining from a mobile, no worries, they can still use this application to learn the classes. And also at the same time, I think this is in Tagalog. You can put things in different languages. We even have an online translation for you. And quick voting interactions with your students is definitely something necessary. I think we have seen school will put this full module in every single section to just make sure there is a quick reaction from the student and hope and make sure that student is catching up with you on the pace in the learning. So if you look at the content here, this is really a rich of the content that you can work on. And also, even for me, I can put up a translated version over here as well. So if let's say I'm going back to my screen share. So if this content is like it's a foreign language to me, I can even translate that into English. So I think this is for a school or student to reach out to a wider scope of the teaching materials. Let's say if you have some reference document that is in Japanese, French, Bahasa, so on and so forth, right? You can actually read it in English. So let's say I don't understand the Tagalog language, but I'm able to see a very decent translation from in English, and this is powered by our translation engine as well. Okay, so that is pretty much about the video functions. And also after the learning, after the class, actually people also consider about where is my materials, right? How do I distribute my materials? Actually, we offer you a shared space with a lot of storage. And over here, as you can see, that you can put up a pretty much decent online material collections. That you can put my modules, classes, different weeks. Then you can have the different content over here. And each video conference can be recorded, can be live streamed. So that means you can broadcast to better audiences, and also you can save it for review. And also for our video conference, we support 100 people together. I think that is a pretty decent number to conduct a classes, so you don't need to worry about that. So that is pretty much about the teaching experience. Then let's look at something we mentioned earlier, what we call school operations, because other than the class itself, do not forget that you also have these components available. So for example, school announcements. We can quickly conduct announcements over here. So you can publish your announcements to all students, make sure that they have read the latest announcement or notice from the school. And also even a student self-help desk. So this is something like a chatbot that students can navigate by themselves on questions that they have. So you can design something like a question card. So this is really a chatbot that students can navigate by themselves for some answers. So this is to make sure that This is to make sure that students at home can also find out what they are doing without asking too many people. Because I think in the remote context, we don't have that much free hands to support that. So for this, you can use this chatbot to help you on that. And also paperless approvals. So we have this approval system that you can submit your approvals on mobile, and this form you can create it really quickly without any coding. So for example, I'm approve any approvals over some approvals over here. And also if you look at the backend in the system, actually it's just a form design and process design. So you don't need any coding languages. Then you can achieve this. So this is something amazing really about the Lark system. It does not only include the collaboration part, and also a workplace that can help your daily operations. All right, so from then on, I think that is pretty much of a quick tour of Lark. And do talk to Servio, do talk to us if you are interested in this, and we are really here to reshape the way we learn. Okay, so thanks everyone. I give my time back to Brian.
Thank you, Yang Lu. Thank you for sharing with us the presentation. It was really insightful. I hope everyone was able to learn a thing or two from what Yang Lu shared, especially with the trans and digital transformation. Again, if you have any questions or any clarifications, or you can feel free to chat your questions in the chat box in our YouTube live. Okay, so let me share my screen. I'll now go to my presentation as your virtual classroom partner. Share my screen. Again, I am Brian Paul Javier, the Chief Distribution Officer of Servio Technologies, your virtual classroom partner. Maybe just to give an overview of who Servio Technology is. We are a Filipino investment and holdings company specializing in the development and distribution of software technology products and services for businesses. This is our mission. Our mission is to serve you with business technology solutions created, sold, and supported by Filipino partners. Our vision is to be the ecosystem builder in creating a healthy Filipino software industry. Our core value is we believe in partnerships between highly effective people. Our mission and vision and core values all encompass to express God's will and give Him glory. We've been providing business technology solutions for quite some time already. Servio Technologies started in 2018, but we have a rich history of providing business technology solutions in different industries, of course, including the education industry. If you are a fan of reality shows, way back in 2019, we joined a reality show called The Final Pitch, wherein we pitched our business model, our concept, and we got an investment from one of the major companies here in the Philippines. So I represented our business back then. So yeah, what you can see on the screen is me. We won a 60 million investment last year. Okay, so that's enough about us. So you attended this webinar obviously to learn more about digital transformation, what Lark can do. And you probably have now a lot of questions like, how do I get started? What do I need to do? How do I make sure I'm doing it right? Do I really need to be able to do this? So many questions. But one thing is for sure, digital transformation is something that we need to start embracing, especially with what happened to this pandemic. It has fast-tracked the need of all organizations, businesses, even schools to adapt digital transformation. So that is where we come in. Servio Technologies has been helping several businesses, including schools, in their journey towards digital transformation. Again, digital transformation is a journey. It's not just simply acquiring a technology solution, implementing that in your business or in your school or in whatever you are doing, and say that you have fully digitally transformed your processes, your business. It's not as simple as that. It usually starts with a goal, and then we try to identify on the first steps that we need to take for us to be able to start that digital transformation journey. So in Servio, we developed both a framework and a roadmap called the digital maturity model. So that has different steps. I won't dwell into the different steps already, but what I want to be able to establish with this slide is the transformation is far more complicated, far more complex than what we really think of it. So you usually need a partner to be able to help you achieve your digital transformation goals. And for schools, for teachers, for the education industry, our solution is the Servio Virtual Classroom. It is an all in one app and it's an end to end solution that lets you teach your students from anywhere. Before I go into what Servio Virtual Classroom is, I'd just like to highlight a DepEd order released in June of 2020, DepEd order number 13 2020, entitled The Readiness Assessment Checklist for Learning Delivery Modalities in the Learning Continuity Plan of Private Schools. So this was released by the Department of Education during the height of the pandemic in preparation for schools on how they'll be able to adapt to the new normal. And I want to highlight some clauses in that DepEd order. In number 2, it says that the school has a technical expertise to run and support the educational platform 24/7. Technical expertise can be in-house or outsourced or a combination. In number 4, it says that the school needs to have a help desk personnel working under the platform managers whose main task will be to directly answer usage queries of both teachers and the students. In number 12, it says the school needs to have a technology knowledge enhancement program wherein there will be regular trainings or seminars given to teachers, students, and even parents to make them embrace the technology. I think this is something that a lot of schools are also missing out, that it's just not a simple implementation and acquiring of a solution, but you need to be able to have a program so that the users, so in particular the teachers, the students, and the parents, would be able to adapt and embrace the technology since this is going to be a new thing in this new normal. Other clauses cites that there needs to be a certification of a professional development or training plan to adequately prepare teachers and other relevant personnel for the implementation of online distance learning, and another certification that there is an existing orientation training plan for parents for the implementation of the online distance learning. Again, this was released in June 2020. Another DepEd order in supporting this DepEd order number 13 was also released, I think a few weeks after. So given this DepEd order, that is where Servio Virtual Classroom comes in. Let me just quickly play this video.
Teach your students from anywhere with Servio Virtual Classroom. The transition to digital is critical so that teachers can easily reach their students anytime, anywhere from the comfort of their home. With Servio Virtual Classroom, you can manage attendance, lesson plans, exams, and grades. Become a certified virtual classroom administrator by getting training on best practices for setting up and operating a virtual classroom. Get certified by taking our official certification exam. As a teacher with a Servio Virtual Classroom, you get unlimited student seats, unlimited video call minutes, unlimited support for you and your students, and more. All for just $595 per month. Order your Servio Virtual Classroom or get a free trial today. Visit larkfromservio.com/virtualclassroom for more info.
Okay, so what exactly is Servio Virtual Classroom and how different or what's the difference between Lark? So we all know that Lark is free, like what Yang Lu mentioned earlier, that you can download Lark for free and enjoy all the benefits and the features and the functionalities of the platform. But what we do with Servio Virtual Classroom, aside from all the, the good functionalities, the good features of the platform, what we provide is a what we provide are additional services for you to be able to fully maximize the platform and fully maximize the solution. So we provide virtual classroom administrator training, wherein we will teach you on how to conduct multiple classes, how to arrange your class schedules, how to prepare lesson plans, how to conduct surveys and exams, how to record grades, how to onboard new students, and even some add-ons such as an in and out board. We'll also have attendance management, and we can also even include a health monitoring application, which is important right now. Especially, we need to be able to monitor the health status of our students. We will also consistently be providing best practices on how to do video conferencing, how to do storage structure, doc and sheet templates, and even the security settings. And most of all, we will be providing unlimited support for the teachers, unlimited support for the students, and it was not included here, but also support for the parents. So that is a service that we will be providing. And it doesn't stop there. We've also integrated Lark with DepEd Commons. So through the application, through the platform, you would already be able to access, if you have access to the DepEd Commons, wherein all the learning modules would be there, and the learning resource portal, again, from the Department of Education. So no need to switch apps, no need to go to another browser. You'll be able to access them through the platform. And that what we are able to provide as of your partner. And you can get all that only at 595 pesos per teacher per month. You get all that at only 595 pesos per teacher per month. So basically what we want to be able to offer is we want you to be able to focus on teaching, and as your partner, we will handle the technology. So you can have the peace of mind, not worry about how we're going to start this, how we're going to implement this, how we're going to make sure that we're doing it right. What if we have problems, issues? What if parents, students start to have questions? We will handle all of those concerns, and you can focus on teaching. So you can have that peace of mind, not worry about the technology. I know you already have a lot of things on your plate on how you'll be able to teach your students in this new normal. You don't want technology to be the issue and to be a concern when it comes to this new normal. We have actually implemented and helped some schools already. So we have Zion, we have Rancho, but I would like to highlight one of the schools that we've implemented to, Abbas Orchard. It's a Montessori school. So we implemented, I think, this in way back in July or August. So they have a total of, sorry. They have a total of around 930 to 950 students. And parents were also included in the platform, around 900 to 1,000 students. So more or less around 1,900 to 2,000 users. Teachers, there are around 130 teachers and admin in the platform. So we were able to help them adapt to this new normal in less than a month. I think 2 or 3 weeks. They were able to implement the solution and help them adapt to this new normal. And that's what we were able to offer. But if you're not a school, if you're a teacher, we are also be able to help you. So not necessarily it's if you are a teacher, especially if you're in college, you're in a university, and you want to be able to adapt to this new normal and use our Servio Virtual Classroom, we can deal with you directly as well. So we are not just focused on schools, but we would also like to help individual teachers as well. And I think, that's it for my presentation. If you have any more questions, again, you can type it in the chat box. If you have any questions, if none, let's just wait and see if we still have any questions. Do you have any questions? Yanglu, do you see any questions in the chat? Let's see. Here, we have a question actually from Miss Pass Cruz. It's for you, Yanglu. For video conferencing, is there a time limit for a meeting with several participants?
That's a very good question. Actually, Lark, we don't have any limitations in terms of meeting durations. Of course, we have a hard stop for one session for every 12 hours, 24 hours. Sorry. So I think that is pretty enough, again, to no limit on the meeting duration, and also we have about 100 user capacity in terms of each user. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, I think we don't have any more questions. Anyway, if you have any more questions, you can feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can like our page, also Servio Technologies. You can reach out to us through that page. You can also email me at brian@serviotech.com. Before we end the session, I'd like to encourage everyone to complete the survey. I'll be sharing the screen. So you can scan the QR code or type in your browser bit.ly/lark livestream survey 1710A. So you'll be led to a survey form, and once you've accomplished that survey form, a digital certificate of attendance will be sent to you. Again, you can type in the URL that you can see on the screen, or scan the QR code so that you'll be led to the survey form wherein you need to fill out so that you'll be receiving our digital certificate of attendance. I'll give you a few seconds to scan and type that in. Okay, again, the survey would only be available up to the end of this day, so I hope you'll be able to fill that out before the day ends. We are about to conclude our webinar for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again on a Saturday morning. Thank you, Yanglu, for sharing your expertise and your insights on how sense of digital transformation. Again, if you follow our page, our Facebook page, Servio Technologies, for more updates, and you can also follow our YouTube. We have several webinars there that you can also learn from. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. God bless and keep safe.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.